Wednesday. I'm going to go back now to the radio and also on mixtv.tv. So glad to have you watching and listening in again on this Wednesday. We've had several interviews that we've had scheduled for several days now, and we're continuing on with those this afternoon. And we're also filtering in and sprinkling in some more information about Livia Weatherford. We're going to have Pastor James Sears from Mount Olive Ministries. He's going to be giving us a call here in a little while just to further what a lot of people are feeling in our community today. And so we'll do that here for you in a little while. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But right now, we've got an event that is coming up tomorrow, September the 14th. It's with our friends from Keller Williams. They're going to be having a seminar, a free seminar, by the way, that you can go check out tomorrow for maybe if you want to be a smart home buyer. Maybe that's something that you're in the market to be able to do. And that is, I was just learning things off the air that I already feel smarter than I did 10 minutes ago. And so those are the type people we were getting ready to introduce to you right now. And they're going to be able to help you with this seminar tomorrow, and we're going to give you all the details about it right now. We're going to introduce our guest. We got, I believe, to my far right, Victoria Tilley is here, and in the middle we got Julio Serpa.
Yes.
Did I get that name right?
Correct.
All right, and then we got Rhonda King here on the end.
Yes.
All right, so we want to make sure we get you nice and close to those microphones so we can get some good audio and video, because y'all right here on camera, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff right there. So this seminar tomorrow, the Fall Home Buyer Seminar, for some reason, I'm looking at the flyer, and I see Mark Shepard's picture on there. So whoever wants to start there, we'll start off with a little jab first.
Well, the reason we have Mark Shepard is because we want to show that everybody needs to protect their investments.
Okay, there you go.
So the best way to do that is to get the best insurance, and I believe Mark can offer that.
You believe Mark there with Shelter Insurance, so that's his plug for him. And I also see Blake McPherson's picture on there. Who wants to take a stab at Blake?
So Blake is a great lender. I've worked with him many times. So he's going to be helping out with our seminar tomorrow. And he'll just kind of shed some light on interest rates and, just the process of the mortgage process and how that goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got the flyer here. We were kind of taking a stab at those two people just because it's just so easy when it's Shepard and McPherson. But anyway, they will be there tomorrow giving the expertise in their fields. And your guys' expertise is buying and selling homes, right?
Yes.
So you put all of you guys together in one room. It's kind of like a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about home buying and be able to get this smarter. Now, the flyer also tells us you're going to know how to get qualified, financing options, the local market stats, which I believe is very important. What is a down payment? The insurance options, which we did, preparing a spending plan, which sounds like a good plan, and then, of course, so much more will be there. So let's start off with you, Victoria. We're going to start off with you. What are you wanting people to really come and understand about this seminar tomorrow?
Our heart for starting this seminar is really just for people to understand that home ownership is a lot more attainable than some people might think it is.
Okay.
It can be an overwhelming process. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and there's a lot in the news about the real estate market currently. However, we want to offer our expertise and give value to the community to be able to educate about the process and to help people walk step by step, even if those steps might be further down the road, to help them see how to get there.
Julio, I'm going to ask you this question. Keller Williams, why would it be an important thing? Keller Williams is a name that we all recognize. Why is Keller Williams such a big leader in real estate, in your opinion?
Well, Keller Williams Cleveland here, we're the #1 broker here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
So that's a good reason, right? If you want to be #1, you play with #1, right?
You play with the #1, and that I acquired
who
to all the
you hang out
training.
with matters.
That's right. That's right. And who you with matters.
That's it.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things, because branding is a big deal. When you drive up and down the road and you see signages and yards, you always want to make sure that you want to be represented. I mean, whether you're a buyer or a seller, by a great team. And so that's why I kind of wanted you to touch on the branding there with Keller Williams.
Absolutely. And at Keller Williams, we really highlight education. So we are always, even our top agents are in education on a regular basis to make sure we're up to date on all of the changes and everything going on in the market. So it's an important thing for us.
Absolutely. Rhonda, tell me a little bit about your take on this and maybe something that comes to your mind.
Okay, well, one thing that comes to my mind is just some people just think that maybe their parents didn't own a home. Maybe their parents have rented all their lives, and they just don't feel like it's even an option for them. So we're here to let them know that it is. And if you just get a plan and work toward that plan, it is obtainable. So we just want everyone to know that home ownership is a possibility for all.
And the plan is important. I mean, it's not like you can start that plan today. Well, some people could start today, do tomorrow. But
Sure.
some people, as they sit down with real estate professionals like yourselves and maybe someone like Blake and other folks that's involved with the financial side of it, the plan is the most important thing. It could be like, hey, maybe you need to get a little bit of debt taken off of your plate. Maybe you need to do this or do that. But for a lot of people that's never bought a home before, you don't know where to begin. I mean, it's kind of like,
Exactly.
where do I start? How would I even know if I would ever be able to get pre-qualified or qualified? Because let's face it, those things are scary to people.
They are scary, and people are afraid to even try.
Yeah. You're afraid of the no. You're afraid somebody's going to tell you no. You may be embarrassed about something that has happened in the past. But you know what? I'm sure there's tons of homeowners out there that's had a bump in the road, that was able to get that squared away with a plan,
Right.
and be able to
Absolutely.
rebound and be able to be a part of a homeowner. And that's really is the American dream still in it, Julio, to be a person that owns a home.
Yes,
Yes.
and yes, to own a home, and especially I serve the Latin communities, so a lot of them don't even know where to begin.
Right.
So I just give them a map for them to follow, and tomorrow we'll be discussing the different fears and facts about the real estate. And not only that, we'll give them a step-by-step 10-step program, real simple, to be able to obtain that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to serving the community in this area.
All right, I'm going to kind of throw some questions at you guys. I want you to debunk some of these things. All right, so people that are renting right now, it does seem, in my opinion, that rent has went up. Is it still going to be better for me if I can get in that plan and get that plan in place, no matter what the timeline is? I'm still probably going to be better off purchasing than continuing to rent. Is that true or false? Whoever wants to start.
Okay, I'll go. So yes, it's definitely better. I mean, if you're renting, you're paying a mortgage. It's just not yours.
It's just not yours. Yeah.
And so when you rent, you do have the risk of your payments going up when that lease renews, your rent going up. So when you do lock into a mortgage, even if it's a 30-year mortgage, you're locking in your cost of living. So you know what your payment's going to be for the next 30 years.
Another thing, I think I kind of let the cat out of the bag. Somebody says, I've had a little bump in my credit, maybe 3 years back, 4 years back. And so that's kind of discouraged me from even trying to get on that horse and ride. What would you say to those people that, we've all had some type of credit situation in the past that maybe we feel that we can never overcome. So let's come back over to you, Victoria. Kind of put that to bed. Is that true or false?
Absolutely. It is false that one bump in the road or even a few bumps in the road will keep you from owning a home. It may take some time. However, our good friends like Blake can help us walk through and say, hey, if these are a couple next steps that you do, you can bump up your credit by 50 or 75 or 100 points. And they give you a plan of how to take the next few steps. So there's a lot that can be done and a lot that goes away after so many years as well. So it doesn't hurt to ask and just to check.
What would you say to people that says, well, it seems like nationally, and I'm using the word nationally because we're here in sweet old Cleveland, Tennessee, that everything's just in disarray in the mortgage area. Buying and selling, people are asking outrageous prices. People are selling way too high. There's just no way that this is going to be something that I can afford here in Cleveland, Tennessee. It's different nationally than it is locally, right? I mean, what we see on the 7 o'clock news at night, not necessarily the microscope we're looking through in Cleveland. Is that true or false?
That is true. Yes, it's very different.
Yeah, we're still seeing a strong market here for both sellers and buyers. And if people want to wait, buyers, for instance, if they're planning to wait for the rates to come down, when those rates come down, that's when all the competition is going to be out there. So they're probably going to end up paying more if they wait.
Now, I guess that kind of leads to the next thing. With interest rates where they're at right now, would you say that changes? I mean, yes, I know what a 4%, 8% interest rate is, but in the scheme of things, when I'm doing that with a home for that length of time, should I be alarmed when I see it go up 1/4%, 0.5%, or is that another one of those things where it doesn't really affect the overall plan?
So rent is 100%.
Well, okay. That's a good point. Rent's 100%.
Yes.
So if you're looking at this and it says, well, last week it was X and this week it's Z, and it's went up 1/4 or 1/8 or whatever the number may be, don't let that discourage you, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
The rates are going to fluctuate throughout the years, so you can always lock in now, refi later, if when the rates go back down.
All right, let's talk about selling. If I'm a seller right now, do I need to invest tons of money to get my house on the market, get it ready? I mean, I know a lot of people say, I'm going to sell my house, so I've got to do A, B, C, D, and E. Well, that's what we think because we've lived there and we know everything about the home. You guys come in with a fresh set of eyes and you say, look, this is what I think you should do. This is something that you're doing because you think you need to do it. Tell me about that. Debunking that one, or should we just invest all this money before we sell?
So, do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
So I think that depends on what their motive is for selling. If they need to sell quickly and they want to adjust the price based on selling as is, then they can do that. If they want top dollar for their house, yeah, maybe they should do some things to make it look better and
but that's where your
better.
Expertise comes in, am I right?
Absolutely.
Don't do it before they call you, I guess is the best way to say it.
Exactly. And there's go ahead.
There's a lot of things you can do that doesn't cost too much, like painting a door, cleaning,
Decluttering, yeah.
decluttering everything, and I think all of that makes it look a lot better.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't have to be large dollar sums that you're putting into a home to get it ready to sell. A lot of it is maintenance issues, just things that you kind of overlook as a homeowner over the years.
Right.
That, a buyer coming in with a fresh set of eyes. So we, depending on the situation, we typically don't recommend a lot of money poured into a home before it gets on the market. So yeah.
So that's where your expertise comes in. You'll walk them through room by room and say, look, that green sink in that room over there probably should be replaced because we hadn't had green sinks since the 60s. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, you will walk them through and tell them this is what a buyer's looking for. We've worked with enough buyers and sellers. This is what people are looking for. This is what they're going to come in and notice right off the gate. And the other things that you're thinking about is stuff that a regular homeowner is not looking for when they're purchasing a home.
Well, because they're living there. They see it every day.
Right.
And then us as a fresh set of eyes, then we can give them an input on how they can make it better.
Yeah. And we work with buyers every day, so we do know what they're looking for, what they like, what they don't like. So some of the things, I recently had a seller do a remodel on a house that they were selling, and some of the decisions that they made for that remodel were not really the best.
Right.
So
They were kind of using their own opinion instead of looking through it through a seller's eyes, is maybe what you're saying. All right, so again, we're just trying to get some questions answered here and kind of give let you guys know that are listening and watching. These folks know what they're talking about. That's the bottom line we're trying to get to. And they're having a home buyer seminar tomorrow. And if you've got tons of questions, I'm sure the questions I ask are very generic. This kind of a broad spectrum of what a lot of people probably ask every single day. But I'm sure there's those more specific questions that people have that's just to their circumstance. And that's what tomorrow and what you guys are going to be teaching at this seminar, correct?
yes.
That's correct. We'll be having a big session on questions and answers.
Yes, and no pressure. I mean, if somebody just wants to come for information and they know they're not going to be buying for 6 months, a year, that's okay too. Just come and learn.
We just want to inform the community that we're here to serve them.
Okay. What would you say, and this is going to be a difficult question, and if you say that's not really a fair question to ask, then that's fine. If you're in Cleveland, Tennessee, can you give me maybe a range of what an average home is purchasing here in Cleveland, Tennessee? Is that something that is kind of a range? I mean, I know the range could be this big or this big, but just Is that a question I can ask?
So the average sales price right now, and I don't want this to scare any new first-time
Sure.
home buyers, but the average sales price is close to $400,000.
Okay, and that's what's going on right now.
Yes.
That's what's moving right now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, and I said that for two ends of the spectrum. For one, I want people that maybe are getting ready to sell to kind of have some idea what's going on. But there's so many logistical things that go into that.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's a number. Fair or not, it's a number. But for you to get the deep dive to understand everything that would create that number, or if you're buying, the reason you would pay that much for a home in any circumstances is to come in and talk to professionals, and that's what it's all about. And Keller Williams, they'll be happy to do that at their location there at 140 Interstate Drive tomorrow. On Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. after work, they're going to have Blake McPherson there from United Community. They're going to have Mark Shepard there from Shelter Insurance, plus these wonderful people that I've been drilling since they got in here about different things. But all the questions that we're asking, all these things are going to be answered for you in the terminology that you can understand. They're not going to talk over your head. They're not going to make you feel like I left there, I don't know anything. They're going to really break it down for you and your circumstance there tomorrow. In closing, I'm just going to come back down the panel one more time. We'll start with you, Victoria. Just anything else you want to put in here as we close?
We'd love for anybody to come by. Like Rhonda said, it's no pressure. We really just want to educate and help everyone understand the American dream and how they can get there. So I'd love to see you. Call our office to register, or just come on by.
All right, Julio, for you?
I'm bilingual, Spanish and English, so if anybody just has a language barrier, then I'll be willing to help them if they come.
That's awesome. And Rhonda, we'll end with you.
Come hungry because Julio's famous meatballs will be there.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So
We'll have refreshments
We'll
as
have
well.
refreshments for that dinner time hour, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. I'll get it out there right in just a minute with our friends at Keller Williams. Again, it's going to be the seminar, how to get qualified, financing options, local market stats, as we were kind of diving into that just a little. What is a down payment, insurance options, preparing a spending plan, which is so important, and so much more. So please come out and be a part of this if you're someone that's on either end of this spectrum for home buying or selling or any of those things tomorrow. Guys, thanks so much for coming in and being a part of this.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
us.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Stay with us. Mix 104.1 WCLE.